like to call the Dublin City Council meeting to order. If you would, let's please stand and we'll ask Councilman Curtis Edwards to say the invocation, then we'll say the pledge to the flag.
Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for being a loving God, and we ask you to look over us in this meeting and help us make decisions that are pleasing to all of our citizens. And Lord, we have the 4th of July holiday coming up. We ask that you look over our citizens and all those who are traveling and protect everyone and help them ride back home safely. And I pray with you once again to be with this meeting today. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
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 I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming today. Just a second, let me cut my phone off. Okay, item number 1 on our agenda today is approval of the June 7th, 2018 minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Johnson and a second by Councilman Jones to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Hear none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Item number 2 is approval of bills over $3,000. You also have a copy of those.
Make
So
a motion
moved.
to pay the bills.
Second.
I'll do a second.
All right, Councilman Davis first and Councilman Edwards second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Item number 3 is approval of purchases over $3,000. Mr. Jones.
We had 2 purchases, and staff recommendation on them is the prices weren't quite what we wanted, and we recommend that both be rejected.
Okay, thank you, sir. You'll come back to us with another proposal?
Yes.
All right, sir. Item number 4 is presentation by representatives of the Dublin Lawrence Humane Society. Anybody here? Okay.
I was hard to get them here, wasn't
All right, somebody must let the dogs out. All right, item number 5 is presentation by Ms. Patricia Nuss, President of the Dublin Lawrence Art Council. Good morning, how y'all doing? Or good afternoon, I'm sorry.
We're fine.
Good to have y'all with us.
Thank you. And thank you to the Dublin City Council members for adding us to your agenda today, and also for including our link on your link, the city's link on their homepage. Thank you very much for including the Arts Council there. Like Mayor Best said, I'm Patricia Nuss, the president of the Dublin Lawrence Arts Council, and this is Cheryl Coleman. She is co-membership secretary. The Dublin Lawrence Arts Council, or DLAC, like we like to say, is a nonprofit organization devoted to bringing world-class performances to our community. The City of Dublin has a long tradition of supporting music and the arts. Since 1963, there has been a local organization committed to sponsor and to promote public performances of high-quality music and musicians. A recent article in the Smithsonian verifies that Dublin, Georgia, is among one of the best small towns to visit in our country. I think that's fabulous. And the Dublin Lawrence Arts Council is proud to contribute to the enhancement of the good life that we all experience here. DLAC sponsors concerts and performances that appeal with a wide variety of tastes and styles of music, including jazz, pop, folk, classical, as well as drama and comedy. This is the 2nd year that our organization sponsored the Missoula Children's Theater. Last week, 47 students, local students, auditioned on Monday, rehearsed all week, and on Saturday, June 16, performed, sang, and danced in a 1-hour production of The Pied Piper. And it was truly amazing, and the students had a wonderful time. And we were proud to be able to present this to our local students and their parents for virtually no cost to them. We are, I believe, all obligated to pass on what we love and what we deem important in our lives to the next generation. The love of music and theater and the arts must not die in our community. Working to support the arts and to bring world-class performers to our town is what this organization is all about. As president of the Dublin Lawrence Arts Council, the board members and I invite all of you, city council members and citizens of Dublin, Lawrence County, and surrounding areas to purchase individual season tickets at $50 each, or contribute at a sponsoring level, which starts at $250, and most importantly, to attend our events and support this organization, starting in the fall of the year with our Atlanta Pops Orchestra concert through the spring of 2019. We rely on and need the support of our local politicians, businesses, citizens to fund our events. Now, I have a brochure, if I can leave a brochure with you.
Absolutely.
Okay? And we would really like for you, all of you, to buy and to come to our events, because we believe that there's at least one of our programs that you'll enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you,
we're also
Patricia.
really excited that we have a new website, and we invite everyone to check us out online, because it's a real pretty website, and I think it puts on a good face for our organization and our community.
Yes, and as we seek patrons for our programs, we really do want to remind you of the value of providing these events. We know the arts enriches our lives in ways that sometimes can be very difficult to quantify, that enhances our people who attend arts and cultural events tend to be happier, more content, and tend to claim an overall sense of health and well-being. But it also enhances our lives in ways that maybe we can quantify, and that includes increased memory, enhanced logical and spatial development, greater empathy for others, and more engagement with one's community. We know that the arts matter so very much. So when individuals and businesses support our organization, they're supporting a sense of community and supporting arts education. All of our programs are free to students of all ages. Imagine students having the opportunity to see professional musicians, to see an opera, to hear a presentation of the works of Poe or Twain. Everything absolutely free. They do not have to travel to another city to do this. They don't have to travel to Macon. They don't have to buy tickets to the Fox in Atlanta. We're able to provide these opportunities here in our great city of Dublin, Georgia. So as we appeal to community members and to leaders to support our programs, this is what we really want you to know. If you love the arts, you will not find a better or more affordable program to support. And if you love our children and want our students to continue to have access to the arts, this is your opportunity. Whether you attend every event, and surely we hope that you will, we look forward to seeing you there, or really if you attend none at all, your patronage makes a difference. And while the programs list all of our sponsors, we know that this marketing tool is probably the least of the advantages that we provide. Instead, we know that our greatest opportunity is our investment in our children and in our community. We thank you. We're proud of the work that we do. We're proud that we make arts affordable and accessible. Thank you for having us here today, for listening to our message, and hopefully for supporting our work. Okay.
Thank you both. Council, do you have any questions for the ladies? Thank y'all so much for bringing us back up to speed on this. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
All right. Item number 6 is a second reading and public hearing of an ordinance to amend Chapter 6 entitled Building and Construction of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dublin to remove and update outdated sections. Mr. Jones, would you please read that?
This ordinance number 18-06, an ordinance by the mayor and city council to amend Chapter 6, Building and Construction of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dublin, Georgia, to update outdated sections and remove outdated sections, to provide for an effective date and for other lawful purposes.
We will now close our city council meeting and open a public hearing and ask if there's anyone here that'd like to speak in favor of this proposed ordinance. If not, is there anyone here that'd like to speak in opposition to the proposed ordinance? Hearing none, we will now close the public hearing. reopen the city council meeting and turn it over to council for action.
Make a motion that we approve the change.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Jones and a second by Mr. Griggs that we approve the amendment to the ordinance. Any discussion? Ms. Stanley, would you call the roll, please?
Councilman Brown,
Yes.
Councilman Jones,
Yes.
Councilman Edwards,
Yes.
Councilman Griggs,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Vote passed 6-0-4.
Thank you. Okay, item number 7 is a second reading and public hearing of an ordinance to amend the sign ordinance to allow for more multimedia signs in the city of Dublin. Mr. Jones, would you please read that proposed ordinance?
Ordinance number 18-05, an ordinance amending Article 2 of Chapter 3, Sign Ordinance, Section 3-36, subsection C, multiple message signs, subparagraph 10, so as to increase the number of multiple message signs allowed from 35 to 50.
Okay. We will now close the city council meeting and open public hearing to see if there's anyone here that'd like to speak in favor of this proposed ordinance change. Anyone like to speak in opposition to this proposed ordinance change? Hearing none, we will now close the public hearing, reopen the city council meeting, and turn it over to council for action.
Move for approval, Mayor.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Edwards and a second by Mr. Davis that we approve the ordinance amendment. Any discussion? Ms. Stanley, would you call the roll, please?
Councilman Davis,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Griggs,
Yes.
Councilman Edwards,
Yes.
Councilman Jones,
Yes.
Councilman Brown.
Yes.
Vote carries 6-0.
Thank you. Okay, item number 8 is the first reading of an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dublin, Georgia, to remove minimum parking requirements for Central Business District B1. Mr. Jones, would you read that one, please?
Ordinance by the mayor and city council to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dublin, Georgia, to remove the minimum parking space requirements for residential dwellings in the Central Business District B1, to provide for an effective date and for other purposes.
Okay. The second reading and public hearing of this proposed ordinance change will be at our July 19th meeting, since we only have one meeting in July typically. So it will be at our July 19th meeting. Okay, item number 9 is the first reading of an ordinance to rezone .43 acres of property located at 400 West Moore Street from P Professional Zone to R4 Multifamily Residential Zone. Mr. Jones.
Ordinance of zoning map amendment number 18-07, an amendment to the official zoning map of the City of Dublin, Georgia, as previously amended for the purpose of rezoning 304 West Moore Street, Dublin, Georgia, excuse me, from P Professional Zone to R4 Multifamily Residential Zone. The proposed use is a child care institution.
Okay, one question. Did the owner request the first or the second meeting in August?
First meeting in August.
Okay, at the request of the owner, the second reading and public hearing on this proposed ordinance change will be at our August 2nd meeting. Okay, item number 10 is discussion and/or action of an MOU with the Board of Education of the City of Dublin concerning the waiver of the collection of fees for ad valorem taxes. Mr. Jones, you want to go over that just a minute?
Yes, to help with the school's financial situation, the city council has agreed with the school to lower our collection, tax collection fee. We collect their taxes for them. They could collect them themselves, but they contract with us to do it. And we will not charge them for the next 2 years to help them reduce their deficit. And the agreement states that all money saved to them from this agreement will be applied to reducing their deficit.
Yeah. Council, in discussion, do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a
Move for
motion to
approval.
approve. Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Jones, and a second by who, I'm sorry?
Johnson. Johnson.
Okay, Mr. Johnson. Okay. to approve the MOU. Any discussion?
I do have a question on that, Mayor. Is there something in place where we are shown exactly how it is spent, or does it go into the general budget reduce debt, or how is that?
What we'd have to do is get a copy of their budget and then have our auditors look at it to determine exactly where the money was spent.
So it will be specified it's from these funds
Yes.
in their bookkeeping.
Mhm. Well, I'm saying yes, they're gonna have to do it in such a way that we can audit it.
And that'll be this school year,
Yes, sir.
I mean, the next school year.
That's the fiscal 19 school year, which would start and our budget year start, and I think theirs follows ours, is July the 1st.
What happens if the auditors determine it's not meeting the guidelines of the MOU?
They would have violated the agreement, and we would request the money back since they hadn't stood up to their end, and it could, go from there. It'd be just like any breach of a contract.
Any other questions or discussion? Okay, we got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you very much, and I do see two representatives from the schools here today, but Mr. Jones and I had breakfast yesterday morning with Dr. Williams, and he said that he wanted to make sure to relay to council how much he appreciated this, and I'm sure he was speaking on the board's behalf, and he was in Athens at a meeting that he could not get out of, or he'd be here today.
Also, Mayor, I've been in contact with him through my Rotary involvement, and he's having corneal surgery, I think, next week, so
Monday,
remember that as well.
second eye.
Okay.
Okay? Item number 11 is discussion and/or action on a resolution authorizing a signature for the GEMA project application grant report.
It's resolution number 18-11, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Dublin authorizing the assistant city manager to be the authorized subrecipient, official/primary representative for Georgia Emergency Management Agency project application. This will let Assistant Manager R. Tiffany Stanley sign any paperwork necessary for us to claim our reimbursement from FEMA, for work we did during the Hurricane Irma. It took a lot of work to get that cleaned up, and the federal government makes some funds available for that, and I just wanted to compliment Ms. Stanley, Ms. Leslie Hodges that's hiding in the back, and all our department heads for working so hard to gather this information. I mean, you get to the point you almost wonder, is it worth doing? But it's almost $400,000 we're eligible for. Not saying that's what we'd receive, but so I think it is definitely worth doing. But it takes a lot of time and effort to get this up. So thank you, everybody.
Okay? Any other discussion? Do I hear a motion to approve?
So move on the resolution.
Mr. Davis is the first, and who's the second? Mr. Jones. Seconds the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. All right, thank you, Ms. Stanley and Ms. Hodges. Move. You can tell she's a bookkeeper. She's always hiding. Okay, item number 12 is discussion and/or action on announcement of the names of the finalists for the position of city clerk/city treasurer. What I'd like to ask council to do, if you would, to vote to name the finalists, and then I will name the finalists as soon as y'all give me that permission.
I'd like to make a motion that we name the finalists today.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Johnson, and a second by Mr. Davis, that we name the finalists. First, let me say thank you to the city council.
We need to vote on it. We need to vote
Oh,
on it.
okay, I'm sorry. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Thank y'all. First, I'd like to thank City Council and Ms. Stanley, too, for helping us come to this conclusion, and also the Mercer Group, who did a tremendous job of guiding us. But after much consideration and after interviewing 4 very qualified candidates, the city council has decided to name Blake Daniels as our finalist, sole finalist. Blake will, we will vote. We have to wait, by Georgia law, we have to wait 14 days at least 14 days to vote on his appointment, and that will be done at our July 10th meeting. Is that right, Ms. Stanley?
Yes, July 10th.
July 10th meeting, and that's when council will have the opportunity to vote on him. But right now, he is our single finalist. All right, that brings us to citizens' comments. Any citizens like to make comments? If not, we'll go to council comments, and Mr. Edwards, will start with you.
All right, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. I'd like to thank the Arts Council for your presentation today, keeping us up to par on there. I'd like to thank the police department for the security and all that y'all do every day in and day out. Thank all of our employees for everything they do. And 4th of July is going to come and go before our next meeting, so I wish everyone safe travels.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Jones?
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out, and also like to thank council and everyone for, we made history today with our groundbreaking of the water park, and thank all that was involved with that. And also, like Mr. Edwards said, we want to have a safe 4th, and also remember that July the 1st starts the hands-free when you're driving, so don't get caught, texting and driving and talking on the phone. So you need to come up with a way to do your hands-free device by July the 1st. So let's go and be safe, and let's until we meet again.
And that's a good thing.
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too would like to thank the Dublin Lawrence Arts Council for being here today, and I have attended some of those programs, and they're always educational and informative and fun. Would also like to echo what's been said before by Councilman Edwards and also Councilman Jones. Also echo what Mr. Mayor Phil Best has said about the process for hiring our finance director slash city clerk. Thank y'all for being involved in that process, or Tiffany and also the Mercer Group. And everybody have a happy 4th of July. It's hot outside, so find shade when you can, and stay hydrated. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Davis?
I just want to say I agree with the comments of the previous council members. Do want to thank Ms. Patricia Nuss and her assistant with the presentation of the Dublin Lawrence Art Council. And I want to thank our staff for working very hard to try to get some money, reimbursements for money that was spent as a result of the inclement weather and the storms. And thank everybody for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Mayor,
Jones?
I'd like to thank everyone for coming today, and I'm proud that we have moved the goalposts one more step towards having a very good community with the water park. Tiffany, I still would be calling you concerning the water park. But I'd like to thank our city right now, Lance and the inspection department. I know they've been pressured to get some projects accomplished, and I know that I do see, and Ms. Drigg and I have been riding around everywhere, seeing some of the accomplishments that y'all have made.
Thank you.
I hope that everyone have a good 4th of July. Enjoy yourself and be safe. Although that phone is free, don't you? You shouldn't be eating and whatever while you're driving, but I don't see the difference. But thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Griggs?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to thank everybody for coming and just echo what everybody else has said.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Powell? Ms. Stanley?
No comment.
Mr. Jones?
Nothing from me, Mr. Mayor.
No further business to adjourn.